In this video, I'm going to present the paper Designing for Inaccessible Emergency Medical Service Contexts, Development and Evaluation of the Contextual Secondary Video Toolkit. My name is Paul Schlosser and my co-author is Ben Matthews. So for this project, we developed a novel participatory design method for emergency medical service contexts. And we use this method to generate novel use cases for augmented reality in the space. However, based on our experience, the method could also be used, for example, to investigate use cases for smartphones, wearable technology, or voice assistants. In the pre-hospital environment, quite a bit of HCI research has been done in the previous years. Most of the projects that have been conducted were either ethnographic workplace studies or technological papers that, for example, propose the use of mesh networks in the pre-hospital environment, so to connect multiple staff members with each other. There are two participatory design projects that have been conducted in this space. The first one was conducted by Christensen et al. In 2006, and they, in collaboration with domain experts and other stakeholders, investigated how staff could be supported during mass casualty incidents by technology. And then there's a more recent study run by Pillerman, who investigated how volunteers, firefighters, and EMS services could work more closely together in rural areas. Although both of the participatory design projects were very successful, the authors and others have acknowledged that running participatory design workshops for emergency medical services can be challenging. For example, because access to the pre-hospital environment is quite limited, but maybe most importantly also because staff are usually very busy and therefore cannot commit much time to design workshops. As soon as we realized that those challenges make it very difficult to implement participatory design processes with current methods, we decided to develop a new method. And we relied on a triangulation of different research methods and design methods. From human factors, we incorporated elements of the video cued recall debrief. So the video cued recall debrief basically involves recording domain experts during their work and then interviewing them afterwards about the decisions they made while playing back the video. From ethnography and digital ethnography, we borrowed the idea to use secondary video material instead of primary video material for contexts that are difficult to access. And then from design research, we incorporated the idea to use card-based systems to structure an activity. So how exactly does the Contextual Secondary Video Toolkit work? Basically, it relies on secondary video material. And in our case, we created a 3-minute video from a TV show called Emergency Down Under. And this TV show portrays one emergency medical services mission. And we decided to put little segments or screenshots and quotes from that mission on cards. So those are our scenario cards. And then to represent the technology that could be useful in that context, we created feature cards, which, for example, illustrate that augmented reality, which was the technology in our case, can superimpose text on the environment. So those cards gave participants an idea of what can be done with a certain technology. In the workshops, we used these scenario cards as prompts for participants to take notes during the video and write down basically everything they found interesting, strategies they observed the staff employing, technology the staff was employing, and maybe also thought processes that staff could have. Then these observations were discussed, and in further steps, feature cards were assigned to certain phases of a mission, and basically staff was identifying what feature of a technology, in our case augmented reality, could be relevant during certain parts of the mission. We conducted a total of 4 workshops with 7 staff. They lasted between 45 and 100 minutes and were audio and video recorded. We then used thematic analysis and discourse analysis to generate the outcomes that we present in the paper. In this presentation, I just want to give you a very quick overview of our results, and I'll focus on one particular instance during workshop 3, where a participant picked up on the fact that staff in the video that we showed arrived in a helicopter but departed in a road-based ambulance. So when the participant was discussing the fact, he said, if we are here, and then he points at the screen, as you can see in the illustration as well, and the helicopter is a 10-minute ambulance ride to that side, and then he points in the corner of the room, and there's no helipad at Liverpool, which is the hospital that's relevant for the video. So then you land at an airfield and are running another 10 minutes in. That's almost half an hour of fiddling around of time, of lost time. So this statement is interesting for multiple different reasons. First, it's interesting that the participant picked it because it's not really highlighted in the video. So our assumption here is the participants were basically using the video material as an incomplete particular to highlight certain aspects that they thought we wouldn't pick up on and they thought were relevant for us to understand, to work together with them on inventing technological solutions. Furthermore, it's interesting that the participant says we, so here we can see a bit how they actually identify with the people shown in the video. And he also makes assumptions about the hospital which aren't really portrayed or shown in the video, so we actually don't know whether there's a helipad at Liverpool from the video, but based on his own experience, the participant assumes that this is the fact. Further outcomes that we were able to generate are that the CSVT, our method, allowed open communication about breakdowns, acted as an experience trigger, as I've illustrated before. The cards structured interaction, and finally, the cards also allowed to connect challenges with opportunities for technological support. So overall, we can conclude that secondary video can be quite valuable in design, and we would like to evaluate the CSVT in different contexts in the future. Thanks a lot for your attention, and if you have any questions about this research, please feel free to reach out to us or just review the paper in the ACM Digital Library.